Radio Rahim with Eddie Hearn in his second home, America. We're here in Los Angeles.
It was my second. I wish LA was my first home or second home. I'll take it. Maybe one day, Rahim, you know.
Maybe one day. You're welcome here. I've paved the streets for you. People know that you're a good guy. So, you've done the same for me in London. So now we've got a big fight at the Forum, one of the most storied places in Los Angeles, and it's a great rematch. You know, little guys sometimes don't get the credit they deserve, the attention that they warrant. So for those who may not know Rung Visai, who may not know Estrada, talk about why this fight is so exciting and how it came to be a rematch.
Well, it's a rematch because the WBC ordered the fight, but also because it was 2018, one of the fights of the year. You know, you've obviously got the Ring Magazine WBC World Champion. Have you got to get out of there, by the way? Are you okay? Okay. And it was ordered as a mandatory bout. Everybody wanted to see it again. You're right with what you say with the smaller guys. I mean, I feel like this card is one of the cards of the year so far. It is a bit of a trade card because everyone in boxing is going, I can't wait for Friday. But obviously the man on the street, it isn't getting the traction of a Joshua or a Canelo because it's not the big boys. But as a fight card, I think it's one of the best, not just Rung Visai Estrada, but Roman against Deheny, Vargas against Soto, Anthony Sims, Giasov, etc., etc. So I can't wait. I remember watching the first fight probably at like 5 o'clock in the morning in the UK, and it was just one of the best fights I've ever seen. So I'm really excited and honoured to promote Srisaket or Rung Visai, pound for pound top fighter in the game. So you're going to see excellence on Friday.
It's not just one of the fights of the year, but it was the round of the year. The 12th round of all rounds being the round of the year. So everybody's looking to see, is this going to be the 13th round? Do you think they pick up where they left off?
100%. And that's one thing with the smaller guys. They're all action. They're plenty of energy, all action. Generally, they're not the biggest punchers, so they soak up the punishment and just go like Duracell bunnies. You have seen with Srisaket, he can punch. I mean, he laid out Roman Gonzalez cold in the 4th round of their second fight. You've seen him knock fighters out before. I just think it's an excellent fight. Estrada looks big and strong, got to say. You know, and you know, like Srisaket, it's the first time I've met him, and he's so small. Obviously, I mean, I'm 6'5", but you know, he's just like shook my hand, and I'm thinking, fuck, you're an animal when you get in that ring, and I can't wait for him to go out. It's going to be a great fight, and you know, it's a top end of the sport, really at the elite level, this fight.
You know, for quite a while in the eras of boxing, the heavyweights were so dominant in the coverage of the fight and the fan favor that welterweights were thought of as the little guys. Yeah. And we had some old school little guys fighting just last weekend, and it didn't go quite the way that people would have expected. Obviously, we're talking Amir and Crawford. It was a tremendous fight for as long as it lasted, but that end was somewhat dissatisfying for the audience. Sitting ringside, how did you take it?
Well, I wasn't ringside because I was in London. We had a show. Frank was there. I don't know. I mean, firstly, I think that Khan is a very brave fighter. Like, even before it got stopped, he was going for it. Like, he was always, as he is, when he exchanges like that, always in danger of getting taken out. And he got put down heavy in the first round. He was getting hit very hard to the body throughout the fight, but he was always trying. You know, he wasn't running around the ring. He wasn't on the back foot trying to survive. He was lunging in and exchanging. And I did feel like the position that he was in, he wasn't going to win the fight. Now, people like to see people get knocked out. You know, and Amir Khan has had a tendency in the past to get knocked out. So people wanted to see, if it was going to end, they wanted to see a show-reel knockout. That's what they wanted to see. But I think Virgil has made the decision to not, I don't think save his fighter is the right word, but was he going to win the fight from that position? I don't think so. Right? Okay. So, but that doesn't appease fans. Do you know what I mean? The fan doesn't want you to pull out of a fight because you can't win anymore. But if you can't win, go and get knocked out. That's their opinion. Right. So what I think Virgil was doing was he was saving his fighter. Well, and you know, but at the same time, when people say, did Amir Khan look for a way out in a fight? I don't know. But what I will tell you is he was in there and he was going for it at all times. So it's hard to say, like, because if he wanted to quit, he would have quit in the first round. Like, he didn't have to get up. Do you know what I mean? He didn't have to keep trying to get into the space and exchange, but he did keep trying to do that. He got one in the nuts. It was very low. I would have liked to have seen them give it the time. Of course, it hurt, but maybe give it the 5 minutes. But I think Virgil decided, you know, and he obviously spoke to Amir as well, and I think he just felt, Because the fighters, I know did he say yes, did he say no, do you want me to stop it, does it hurt, whatever. It's very unusual for a fighter to say, pull me out.
Right.
Like, they're so brave, and they're so sometimes the trainer's got to make the decision. And he probably might have seen from Amir, I think he's had enough here.
Yeah. For my sake, I don't like guys debating, he quit, so they're calling him, derogatory names and that. The guy, like you said, he's going after it just to take the fight in the first place. Yeah. He was trying to win for as long as he was trying to win. So, in theory, you being a promoter, you got money hanging in the balance. You want to sell pay-per-views, you want your fighters to be entertaining. But let me get to the question. Is it, on theory, on principle, should a guy continue if he can? Even if the knockout might be imminent, should he continue to try until or unless he gets knocked out or stopped?
That's what fans want to see. One of the problems is, Rahim, is when you have a pay-per-view show, you're always under pressure. Right? I feel it. Like, when I do a pay-per-view, you know what it's like in the UK. Well, this shouldn't be pay-per-view. What? And it's like, please. Like, all you want to do is give fans value for money. So what happened on Saturday left a bad taste in people's mouths. And when that's pay-per-view, that escalates like 100 times. Because if it's just an ESPN fight, it was a bit of a controversial ending, but it was a good fight. When you've paid $80, you're under pressure, like as a promoter, not just the fighters, to deliver value. And I think what the people paying $80 are saying, and we're paying their money in the arena, were saying is, no. Go and fucking get knocked out. If you're going to lose, go and get knocked out. Don't quit. I've paid my money. And this is the gladiatorial world that we live in for boxing. Like it or lump it, that is what fans pay to see. They pay to see someone get knocked out. And they don't like a fight being stopped for a low blow.
The only thing they like less than a fight being stopped on a low blow or a guy quitting is a guy not making it to the ring in the first place. So you've had your troubles here in the last couple of weeks. Needless to say, Big Baby Miller is an atrocious situation. I even gave him the benefit of the doubt on the first test.
That's one thing that pisses me off more than anything, is that I like Big Baby Miller. I've given him unbelievable opportunities and chances. Not just because I like him, but he was a good fighter. He's a character. He's a personality. Got him on HBO. Got him on DAZN. I made him one of the most active heavyweights out there. I got him the Anthony Joshua fight for a lot of money. Like money that will change your life and your kids' lives and their kids' lives. Generational wealth, right? So to do this it's really left a bad taste in my mouth for a couple of reasons. The first one being, he's done it to intentionally harm Anthony Joshua physically, right? People have lost their lives in the ring. People have been disabled in the ring. And for a guy like that to try and get a physical edge by sticking needles in his arse, like you're not talking about a guy who's had a little protein shake and unfortunately it's got some other supplement in you shouldn't. This is a guy who's taken human growth hormone, EPO, and GW, whatever it is, that I've never even heard of. This is probably one of the most prolific cases of cheating I think ever recorded in boxing. But what worries me so much is that these guys know how dangerous fighting is, yet still he does that to gain such a physical advantage that we don't know. Anthony, there's no quitting him. He won't stop. And if he's in there with someone that's got all this stuff inside his body, making him almost superhuman, something terrible is going to happen, and we'll never be able to forgive ourselves. That's the first reason I'm pissed off. The second reason is, when he failed the first test, I read his statement, right? He texted me. This is bullshit. I mean, his manager even said it was racist or something. It was sabotage. It was all these things. And because we made him sign up to VADA, again, how stupid are you? Like, he signed up to VADA, and then he tells me this, and I'm thinking, do you know what? Maybe he was unlucky. Maybe his trainer gave him something, and I don't know.
Right.
And they were like, his team were like, we're testing all these supplements, we're getting the B sample, blah blah blah, and then bang, the email comes through from VADA. Oh, he's failed another one for human growth hormone. 2 days later, bang, he's failed a third one for EPO. And then you just come out, you delete that statement, and you go, oh, actually, sorry guys, hands up, yeah. Like, one, how stupid are you to do that when you're under VADA testing? The VADA testing that we do is the only way to catch cheats. Random, extensive VADA testing for as long as you can, hopefully 16 weeks before a fight, right? Mm-hmm. They're there Tuesday, they might come Wednesday morning. So he's passed one test and then probably gone, oh, maybe they won't come back. And he's failed the next three, over 3 weeks. Honestly, I'm so disappointed in him, because that's dishonest. That's a cheat. That's not nice. And I was talking to AJ about it, and he was like, can you imagine, like, 8-9 rounds in, and I'm just pummeling him, and he just keeps coming. I said, that would have happened. Like, don't get me wrong, you can still knock him out, but, like, it's very likely that this guy, his endurance levels would have been incredible in this fight, and they have been for a long time. And this is the first time he's been extensively VADA tested. We know he's got history, but when you get someone to sign up to VADA testing like that, like, how desperate are you, or how afraid are you that you have to do that when you know they're coming knocking? What, are you looking for a way out? I don't know. Like, I can't get my head around it at all. It's unbelievable that this man, like, it's almost like, and it's hard to call people cowards because they fight, like they're the one, but it's almost cowardly, that you don't feel that you can do this on an even playing field. And for all the build-up, all the talk, everything that he said he was going to do, you went away and you didn't have the confidence and belief that you could do this the right way, that you could do this naturally, that you could beat AJ on an even playing field. You had to cheat, and you had to take everything you could to try and get you to win, to give you that physical edge. And the only pleasing thing about this whole thing is we found out. That's the only pleasing thing. Because if something would have gone wrong in that ring that night, I mean, lives are changed, and we wouldn't have been able to look at ourselves. And it's very easy for me. I wouldn't say he was forthcoming in signing these VADA papers. We chased, and he did it. But it would have been very easy for me to let it slide, to just say, fucking, I can't, he's not sending the forms back. Just leave it, you know what I mean? Like, we'll test him on the night. He thinks he's being tested. But no, it was, where's the papers? Where's the, like chasing. And if I didn't chase, he would have been on all that stuff in the ring that night, as so many fighters are already. Cheating is so prolific in this sport, we have to accept that. And I've always hoped that it wasn't, but I have to say, and I'm sorry to say, but the more time I spend around American boxing, I do feel this problem is much bigger here than it is in the UK, mainly because the British Boxing Board of Control have UCAD random testing for fighters. You have absolutely no testing in. The WBC testing, they're doing a great job, but still, they can't test people consistently. Like, I've got fighters that sign up for WBC testing, they've never been tested. But at least it's the fear of being tested. But Rahim, there are fighters out here, they're not getting tested until fight night. The whole camp. Do you know, it's not even, it just opens the door. Like, there's no risk of getting caught. And with everything that's at stake, with all the money that's at stake in the sport right now, these people will be cheating to get an edge, to win. I bet there are a lot of champions out there that I think it's got to change. It's got to change. And I don't know whether it's promoters, I don't know whether it's commissions, I don't know whether it's governing bodies, but someone has got to do something to make sure that at least the title fights are being tested. Because something's going to happen. Someone's going to lose their life. Someone's going to get injured for life. Someone's going to get disabled for life, paralysed by a drug cheat. What happens then? Is that murder? I mean, that's like, and that could have happened on June 1 if we didn't have Jarrell Miller tested. So that's the only pleasing thing, is that for all the VADA testing we've done since Anthony Joshua won the world title, this is the first. Actually, Eric Molina failed a test as well with UCAD, but this is the first time that VADA have caught a fighter.
With
so,
all,
in that way they did their job, but it's it's just so gutting. Not just like the money that we spent, flying the media tours, and but we spent $500,000 just promoting the fight. And there was no apology to me. These guys never phoned me up and said, Eddie, I'm really sorry, all the opportunities you give me. And I know it's not about me, but to come out and say this is a joke, to me, and then not turn around and go, Ed, just want to say, I fucked up. Everybody fucks up, right? And I'm a believer in forgiveness, but this is almost beyond. This is cold-hearted cheating. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like HGH, EPO. This isn't like, look, this is take this before you train. It's going to make you train harder. This is like,
this is a regimen.
Yeah, it is. It is. And if he's doing it, who else is doing it?
And all those things you said, especially who else is doing it, makes your next job that much more difficult. Scrambling for a heavyweight last minute. You don't have time to test them properly for those amount of weeks. And guys sometimes out of competition cheat. Getting somebody ready that's going to be a reasonable opponent, a reasonable draw, it's got to be tough last minute. I'm sure you're aware Ortiz's camp claimed that you went to them and you strung them along and you know pretended like this fight was going to be made. Is there any truth to that?
Well, what I will say is that next week, when I have done this deal for Anthony Joshua, I will be exposing the Ortiz camp, and you will do it with you in Vegas, and I'll show you the correspondence. Because when I saw that story last night, I was like, are you serious? And we will see the truth next week. But I don't want to talk about it. I won't talk about the numbers yet, the negotiations, until we've done what's important, which is securing the opponent. It's very close now. Again, you know, you'll ask me who's the favourite. There's 4 or 5 guys that it could be. Someone's going to grab it and take it. Everybody wants crazy money, rightfully so. They're stepping in. I want someone that's in training already, not that's just starting now. I want someone that believes they can win. I want someone that will try and win. And I want someone that's going to entertain. And I believe we've got 3 or 4 of those guys that we're very close. It's just literally someone could phone up. I could finish this conversation. Someone go, I'll take it. And it's done.
So now you don't know. You really don't know?
I don't know. No, I don't. I mean, I've got, you know, we can talk about it. You know, we talk about Michael Hunter, we talk about Andy Ruiz, we talk about Manuel Char, we talk about Trevor Bryan, we talk about Luis Ortiz. I like Andy Ruiz, I like Michael Hunter. I think they're 2 credible fights. Ruiz is a character, you know. Aesthetically, he don't look the best, but he can fight. And he's a tough bastard, and he will try and win. And he's Mexican, he's got fast hands, he likes to let his hands go. Michael Hunter is extremely skilled. Very difficult to beat. On a great run, could be a massive banana skin. You know, there's other guys as well, but it's like, you know, I understand that you're going to get a bumper payday, but I don't want it. There's people that I've rejected because I've just seen it's purely about the money, and I'm not even sure you really want it. Do you know what I mean? And I don't want that because this is a big night for Anthony Joshua. You know, this is a Madison Square Garden. There's going to be 20,000 people in there. We need to make sure this is a real fight. And AJ's up for anybody. But there's certain people, and this is why it's important. When we do our interview next week, I'll show you that what you hear is not always the truth. You know, for say, we strung you along. Do you think I've got time right now to be stringing people along? Like, I need to get this done. It's been a week, yeah?
Yeah.
So it's got to happen this week. And we will do. And it could happen tonight. Just take someone to pull the trigger, you know.
Well, before those thousands of people leave Madison Square Garden, they might just go and feed their meters and turn right back around and come for Triple G, who's shaking up the news tonight or today.
Yeah.
He's just separated with his longtime trainer, Abel Sanchez. Yeah. What do you make of that news? And if you were the guy that he was calling up, who would you suggest he work with?
I mean, I thought those 2 were tight as they come. You know, I don't know what's happened there. I mean, you know, Triple G's at a stage in his life where he's probably got, I don't know, 3 to 5 or 6 fights left or something like that. I don't know, but I'm surprised. Who's going to train him? I don't really know. Wouldn't really like to. There's a lot of good American trainers.
What do you think was the rift there, and what was it good for him?
It's. I think a lot of people at that stage in their career generally will stay with a trainer because they're like, well, changing now, it's a bit weird, and I ain't got long left, so I'll stay loyal. But actually, that's not always the right thing to do. Like, if you want to change, if you feel you can still improve or be better with someone else, it's better to do it rather than just say, you know. I mean, staying loyal is great, but not if it's going to not get the best out of your performance, you know? So, well, I don't know. I mean, I've only Chris Mannix just told me. So I haven't seen the reaction yet. I've heard his quotes, Abel's quotes.
Oh, have you? I haven't.
Yeah, I think so. Well, he told me. I think he tweeted it. Yeah. So.
Yeah, he must have known it was coming because he's already got a reaction. We saw him in New York, and then he wasn't in L.A.
Was Abel there?
Yeah, that's the video I saw. He was in New York.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if that was just for appearance's sake. Abel Sanchez tells the show that the split with Golovkin came down to money. Calls Golovkin's side greedy and ungrateful with no honor. Jeez, that is harsh. That is harsh. Well, I'll tell you, one guy that is impressively able to keep loyalty of his fighters, even when they seem disgruntled, they never really seem to go anywhere, is Eddie Hearn. And you get committed for that, and yet another fight night coming up. Cannot wait to talk to you next week and get the skinny on this whole Joshua new opponent Ortiz deal. Jacobs Canelo. Everything we talk about, we will talk about again. Radio Rahim with Eddie Hearn.